patrol. I'll handle employees. I love you, honey bunny.
Everybody be cool, this is a robbery!
You f***ing pricks move! And I'll execute every mother***ing last one of you!
If you're like me, you don't pay attention to your surroundings, which means you miss out on things like your own apartment of 2 years having an attic. So today's the day where I'm gonna see what's up in here. All right? We have an apartment inspection this week, hence the intensive cleaning. And I have a lot of stuff that I do need to store in my attic. So part of me hopes it's empty, but part of me hopes there's some goodies in there. Shit. Okay, give me a sec. Oh. Shit. Spiders. Spiders are a concern of mine. Wow. What's that? Oh shit. Oh! I think we've struck gold. So yeah, there was some goodies in there. Well, there was one big goodie and a lot of spiders. I'm gonna get this puppy down and see if it works. Okay, VHS update. It's all in one piece, but it's got no cables. So I have to head to my local electronics store, little mom and pop place, to see if I can get some cables for it to be. See. We meet again. Well, that's a fucking coincidence and a half. There we go.
This week's package is something from a bygone era. It is a VHS. Your mission, find out all you can about VHS and find a way of playing this piece of entertainment.
Okay, I've been back for quite a while now. You can see yourself in the reflections, nothing I can do about that, but I'm gonna try to take the plunge and turn this puppy on. Now, I have used one of these before in the past. Did I? I don't think I really did, actually. I think I was so young when the videotapes were knocking about that other people would put them on for me. I don't remember. So I have her plugged in. There's two on buttons. I'm gonna take it this one. Red light. That didn't do anything. Oh, red light again. Oh, I hear a hiss. That's probably good. AV. Okay, so at this point, I presume there's nothing in here. No. Wow, look at that. Fucking mic. I guess all there is to do now is pop this in. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okie dokie. Do I remember? Uh-huh. Should I tell ya? Here we go. I don't know if I needed to push it that aggressively in, but I did. Oh, famous symbol. The famous symbol.
We'll teach them. Try one of these.
I think we're at the ads.
You like her, don't you?
I think we're at the trailers.
They had nothing to
So, play, it's playing.
Stella, what's wrong?
Stop. Play.
Except
Stella, put them back on. Fast forward. Alright, I'm gonna fast forward to the movie. Oh. Shit. This isn't it.
somebody's serious.
Wait a minute.
I like this car.
That's pretty cool.
Before the storm.
Alright. There's another ad. Or is this the movie? Oh shit. Oh, this is the movie. Oh. I think we have her now. Jesus.
Forget it. It's too risky. I'm sure you're doing that shit.
There you go.
You always say that, the same thing every time.
I got Pulp Fiction playing.
That's what I was saying. I'm always right, too.
I guess.
Would you pick
Now I have to watch it. In recent years, VHS seems to have become kind of a unattainable digital filter that people try to achieve in various different ways. Every social media app has a lot of VHS filters. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, they all do it. Even I've done many Premiere Pro VHS effect tutorials. I guess it's nostalgic for most people, but I guarantee there's a lot of people who have never even experienced VHS tapes, and they still enjoyed that style because there's just something about the kind of tactile nature of a VHS tape that's just, I don't know, there's something kind of interesting about it. So I did use a few VHSs back in the day. I had Nemo, Toy Story, Monsters Inc. are some of the classics I remember. I had some weird aardvark puppet animatronic short on VHS. Well, if you're looking at it on the screen right now, that means future me editing the video found footage, but I don't know if I will be able to because I've gone on the search before and I haven't been able to find it. And yeah, the shift over to DVDs was noticeable. I mean, I remember them being around for a good few years, but they weren't being used. No, DVDs definitely came in and took over. So yeah, I really had to dig in deep to my memories to try and figure out how to boot up the video player and actually watch the movie. And what a movie to watch when I'm dipping back into the past. Now, I've seen some Quentin Tarantino movies. Have I watched them in order? No, I have not, because this was my first viewing of Pulp Fiction, even though I've seen several other of his movies. But interestingly enough, from watching them in a kind of a strange, jagged order, you don't really notice the years change. I feel like a lot of movies these days, kind of movies of the 90s had a certain style, and then directors today have kind of adapted to a newer style of dialogue and cinematography. But obviously the quality of film cameras and everything has improved, so I can tell which era of his movies I'm watching. But that kind of punchy, strong dialogue remains the same in all of his movies. So that's just an interesting tidbit I've noticed from watching them in a weird order. But yeah, I haven't been failed so far by a Quentin Tarantino movie, and this one was no different.
Dance. That's right.
So the best way I can sum up my thoughts on Pulp Fiction is with a metaphor involving burgers.
And what do they call it?
They call it Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
That's right.
So imagine Pulp Fiction. It's a burger with a really nice, well-made bun, a patty that is 100% grass-fed beef that was grilled on a charcoal barbecue over an open flame. We have lettuce, fresh tomato, an onion with a nice top bun, and it's classic. Maybe it's got a little ketchup, but you don't need nothing else because every ingredient in this Pulp Fiction burger is just very high quality, and there's nothing extra that's not needed, and there's nothing missing.
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit.
It's just good. One bite and you can kind of tell, holy shit. You know when you go to like one of those kind of food trucks and it's like one of the best burgers you've ever had, even though it's a brand you've never heard of, it's a place you've never heard of and you never see it again. It's just that guy's really good at making burgers. That's kind of what Pulp Fiction feels like to me. Compared to, say, maybe a very good burger that perhaps has kind of like a truffle mustard mayo in it, and then it also has like Swiss cheese mixed with another kind of cheese, and then it's got like pickled red onions. It's like, it's a nice burger, it's great, It's just got all those kind of fancy extras that kind of just increase the price and get a bit mishmashed. Too much going on. Whereas Pulp Fiction is that kind of classic, high quality, attention to detail burger. You know? Doing a lot with the simple things. And then other movie burgers are kind of like McDonald's, you know what I mean? You know the ones I'm talking about. They do kind of fill you, but, you know, we've had them all at this point. And there is something to be said about the kind of aesthetic that VHS does bring due to the format that it is. I mean, there's a lot of hiss, there's a lot of video feedback distortion, the lines wiggles, it's pixelated, but something about the audio, I don't even know how to exactly what to pinpoint out that makes it this way. It just adds to that kind of aesthetic. It just adds to that kind of time capsule feeling I had watching this movie on VHS.
Poison and destroy my brothers, and you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
The era this movie came from, the era of VHS, DVDs were coming in, phasing them out right around this time. Yeah, it just feels very special. It's nice to have it, because it can be hard to obtain these days. You have to go out of your way. If you don't just have one lying around, you have to kind of go out of your way to find something to be able to play these videos. Yeah, I recommend the experience. It's good just to kind of go back and see this is what we used to have. This is all we used to have. And that format did kind of lend to interesting things that doesn't happen anymore, like people taping over other tapes, giving people tapes, passing around media, finding things in shops that you wouldn't be able to find other places, banned media being passed around on videotapes, Pamela Anderson, you know, these days it's just you know, it's obviously all files, not to sound like an old man, but that's been said before. Obviously files are cool. I'm not saying they're not an improvement, because clearly we have improved the format over the years. I mean, these days 4K is nice, but it doesn't bring a lot of the elements that these older formats brought, you know? And it was especially nice to watch this movie in this format, because sometimes these days you can get a little bit sick of the clean-cut nature of stuff, and you might think maybe it's just a stylistic choice, but behind the scenes a lot of streaming services have their own guidelines that each filmmaker must use. So if you're making a Netflix movie, you have to use Netflix's cameras, you have to use Netflix lenses, you can't overcrowd the frames because a lot of people watch on their phones, so they want everything to be viewable on every screen size. So, you know, that stuff kind of is impacting how cinema presents itself on the screen. It's important to keep this shit kind of alive, because you don't want every movie to be made so it can fit on a phone, you know? You don't need just one character with a blank space behind them just so the story gets across, so people get hooked on the episodes, so they keep paying their prescriptions. And a funny tale to end it on is I've actually been fortunate enough to meet Quentin Tarantino years and years ago. I don't know what age I was. Maybe I'd hazard a guess I could have been 4, I could have been 5, I actually don't know. But myself and my dad were waiting in line, I believe at a signing or just a meet and greet. I don't really know. Maybe he'll have to add some details. But yeah, we waited in line. I didn't know what for. I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. It was just one of those adult, boring tasks that I had to be part of. So I waited for it to end, and then we got to the front of the line, and I guess he spotted me. I believe reached a hand out, and I'll try to do the best impression I can. He said, "Hey, little buddy, you're a little young for my movies." Something like that. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. I do kind of, I have a hazy vision of it in my head, but the story's been retold over and over, so those are my memories of it. But it stirred nothing inside of me. I just was kind of disappointed, to be honest with you, that we were waiting in line for so long, and it was just to meet that man. Then a while later, I saw his appearance in, I think it was the Muppets Trip to Oz, or the Muppet Wizard of Oz movie.
I'm talking kung fu. I'm talking walking on walls. I'm talking explosions everywhere. I'm talking Oz in flames. Burn, baby, burn. You digging it?
I saw him in that. And I connected the dots and I went, holy shit, that's the guy. I met that guy. Yeah, and then fast forward many, many years later, it happened again where I went, holy shit, that's the guy. I met that guy. Fuck. But yeah, that's all. Pulp Fiction, watch it. If you have a VHS player and you have it on VHS, give it a shot on that. What do you think, 2002 Willem Dafoe?
I prefer Reservoir Dogs.
That's the end of that. Bye. So, that was my first.
Bloodline syndicate, death by fire. Rising higher. Bloodline syndicate. Nothing is safe.